All right, guys, so we're back. We are finally back with some more S85 stuff. We have an engine in for Duane's car. If you don't know, Duane sent us his M5 a while back, and we believe has thrown a rod, and he had a local shop do the rod bearings in it a few thousand miles ago, and it already grenaded. So he sent it over here, and what we're going to do is take this eBay engine. This is an eBay engine with a somewhat guarantee, with 59,000 miles on it. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Before the company sent it, they knew the situation with the crankshafts on these. He actually took apart the bearing caps and sent them to me. I don't really like when somebody's taking something apart, but he did know that the bearing cap had to go back on the same way. You couldn't flip it. So hopefully he just finger tightened that back together, and we could take this thing apart right now and verify everything's good. We also need to look at the Vanos pump, all that kind of stuff. And by all theory, this car should be fine and not need a new Vanos pump. However, we see anything wrong with it, we have to do that. We can't BS that at all. We may do it either way. We'll see how it turns out. But for right now, let's flip it upside down. Let's get the oil pan off. Let's see what's going on. Oh, goodness. Grab that bucket right outside the door. All right, so we're just taking the last couple of T30s out. And on the back of these M5, these S85s, you have to have a long T-handle wrench, because if you don't, if you get the bits, if you have a really long bit, you could use it. But most of those long bit kits are like, what, 4 inches, and won't quite reach it. So if you don't know, you've probably seen me do the video several times already. Take a ratcheting wrench, you take out all the 10 mils under the oil pan on both sides that are hiding, and now we're left with all the ones here. We can take out with a little impact, little ratcheting, power ratchet, you might say. Power ratchet, a person may say, and we're just gonna zip these out like so. And you know what's right here on the passenger side, there's that one Torx at T30. There's also 2 more in the front here. These 2 are always the longer ones. You can just tell by looking at this. This is not a complex engine. All right, all that's done. Let's go back here and take out our T30. These 2 T30s. And then we're ready to come out. Pull this up, flip this over. Yeah. Just looking for debris. I don't really see anything to speak of. It's good so far. So let's go. Actually, there's some very microscopic little thing there, but that could have been from anything. So we're going to do at this point, we're going to pull off our oil pump, pull off our Vanos pump, our oil line, and then once we get to that point, we should be able to spin it over. They've had this off, so we'll have to check all that. Spin it over, take them out one by one. We don't have the rod bolts, we're still in back order. We're just gonna look at it all today, verify the crankshaft's good. If the crankshaft's good, this is a usable engine. So we'll leave it on the engine stand, we'll cover it up and go from there. We'll be right back. The Vanos pump on this one is like perfect. There's no playing it one bit whatsoever. The bearing is good. There's no in play. There's no side to side play. Everything looks really, really good. It's got the new gear on it. It's got a stamping on the back. I don't know. It's got the date code is 06 in the front, but it's stamped in the back. I'm not sure what that means. But there is zero problem with that at all. And to be totally honest with you, I think a lot of the problem with these pumps is people take them off and they don't set them right with the gauge when they put them back on. And whenever you do that, it'll chatter that bearing and that pump and grenade it. So we're gonna take this off. And then we're going to go in here. We have 12.12 mil on our impact. What we need to do here is check all the bearings, check all the crank's the main thing. We don't give a rat's ass about the bearings. We need to check the crank. And of course, if we had the rod bolts here right now, we would just be reassembling it and we'd be good to go. But we don't have that in our back order, so. There's no smell worse when you take these rod bolts off, the stank that comes off of them. Okay, that's perfect, no problem at all. That one's got a little dirt mark, but you can't feel it. Got a little speck of dirt in there. It's totally fine. You'll have that sometimes. That's not entirely uncommon. You're gonna have that on almost anything. That one's got some dirt in it. It's fine though, you can't feel any of it. So you're just gonna have that. You know, what could it be from? Just microscopic sediment in there. That one's got, it's got a couple little specks in it, you can see it. But these bearings look really good. Probably looks way worse on camera than it actually is. Same way. You can't feel any of it. It's very minor. I mean, for an M5, S85 actually looks pretty good. There's no copper showing on the bearings yet. Number 5 and number 6. That one's good. Same way, same thing. That was from incorrect oil change. I don't know. It's not bad. Nothing's spun. Nothing's grooved up. And, you know, a lot of you guys are like, oh, there's scratches. Junk. No, it's not. It's not that way. And it's just not that situation. Those are little specks of some arrangement of dirt in it. There you go. Everything looks good on that one, no problem. It's good, same way. You can see how microscopic, like the little tiny specks of stuff in it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Unsubscribe. All right. I was watching that video until Nathan dropped that bearing cap in the engine. Unsubscribe. Same way. You can see this one actually had a little piece of dirt. Oh my God. This one actually had a little piece of dirt stuck right there. You can see it's a little bit of flaking. And we see that on almost all these. Cycle the same way. Make sure the direction is correct on that. 2 more, boys, and we're done. Same way. Yep, just untraceable. I don't know. We're starting to see that more and more with these, actually. So far, so good. So the thing is this a 50,000 mile engine? Well, judging by the bearings so far, I would say probably is. And it is factory rod bolts, it is factory bearings. Nobody's changed anything. Let's do the last one. Now this one, and you see this quite a bit. I'm going to flip this upside down and show you. This one's just starting to wear through. And you can see, so this one has the most wear on it. There's no wear on the journal at all. It all looks really good. It has to get like way worse than that, there'd be a problem. Usually the top is slightly worse than the bottom, but we've taken the bottom ones off before and we had a bunch of copper on it and everything was still totally fine. But that's why you do these. So if you guys have, and trust me, we hear about it all the time, I got an S85, it's got 160,000 miles on it, never had the rod bearings done. Well, son, we'll say a prayer for you, because that shit's about to go bad. Or somebody's done it, and they did it for you, bought it, and you just didn't know about it. A lot of times that is the case. How long will these engines run without doing the rod bearings? Regardless of maintenance, regardless of anything you do to it, usually by the time you get to about 92, 94,000, they're done. They're done, son. Will changing the oil to a different way, will any different driving conditions help it? Probably not. So if you're at 60 to 80,000 miles, you need to do this job. This job without the Vanos pump was about $700. This job with the Vanos pump was about $2,700. That'll get you your control arms, that'll get you oil pan gasket, Vanos high pressure line, which will change out on this one no matter what, thanks to Dr. Vanos. And that'll get you your front main seal, like all the stuff that you need to do, ARP bolts, that'll get you ACL bearings and everything we need to do. So that's the numbers. Now you're gonna say, but Fatty, I don't have $2,700 or I don't have $700. Well, if you don't do it, do you have 10,000 for another engine? Well, actually more than 10,000. A really smoking deal. This engine was 6,000. This is like a smoking deal. They're 10 to 12 grand for a used engine. Then you have to do all that to the new engine before you put it in. Then you got to pay a shop to put it in. And you're probably in at 15. I don't know, to have a shop do it. You're in at 20 grand. So is it better to spend $700 right now on it, or even $2,700? Yes, it absolutely is. So I tell you guys this stuff, not to be an asshole. I tell you guys this stuff so you don't have this problem, because this thing will bankrupt just about anybody if you let it do it. So be careful, guys. We'll be back again very soon with another video. Hopefully some rod bolts, maybe. We'll see. See y'all later. Have a good day.